Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your actions. The Dalai Lama. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kiam, and I help reconnect people with their inherent source of power and creativity. Last week, I asked my friends and community on Facebook, what are some of the difficulties you have around defining, setting, and achieving your goals? Some of the responses I received were shame, focus, concentration, systematic oppression, marginalization, transphobia, feeling that it's pointless, uncertainty, distractions, internet brainworms, overwhelm, imposter syndrome, unable to prioritize, patience, addictive behaviors, distractions. Do you relate to any of this? If you do, feel free to type it into the comments or write down what your issues are. While I may not have the immediate answers to the problems that plague our society on the greater scale, what I do hope to accomplish in this video is to give you some tools so that you can better define your goals, sustain your actions, and achieve your dreams so that you can make the changes in this world in your own unique way. So let's begin by asking, what exactly are goals? The way that I like to think about it is that I am here and I want to be there, and between these two spaces is a distance. And in this distance is this feeling that pulls you forward to where you want to be. And we can call that distance desire. As we know from our experience, desire is a fundamental aspect of human existence. But is that all that goals are? Desire? I don't really believe so, because it's not just the desire that pulls you forward and that takes you to where you want to be. You need a path to get there, or a plan. So we can consider goals then as desire plus a plan. And right away, by just looking at this, we can see why there are so many pitfalls to achieving our goals. Because some of us, most of us, have the desire to get to where we want to go, but we often don't have a clear plan. So today I'm going to share with you a system, actually two systems, that will take you step by step through the process of creating and then working on achieving your goals. And the system has an easy to remember acronym, Grow Smarter. In this video, we'll spend most of our time exploring the GROW model, which was created by Sir John Whitmore, who wrote Performance Coaching, which is one of the textbooks in my master's program in health and human performance. The smarter section of this acronym is more of a checklist once we have your goals set, to make sure that these goals are going to be achievable, realistic, and worthy of your time. So let's begin with the G. The G stands for, well, goals. And really, if it were up to me, I would even change this to V for vision, but bro just doesn't really have the same ring to it. So goals it is. In this first step of the process, what I'd like you to do is to visualize, what exactly do you want to accomplish in your life? What are your dreams? What is your big why? What is your purpose? Imagine the world that you'd like to live in. And it's important to not allow our doubts and our limitations to creep in during this phase, because we really need to put ourselves in this emotion of possibility, a future-oriented perspective rather than the present. And this is important because if you're only thinking from the present moment, you're going to be thinking from the limitations of the past. According to Whitmore, goals based on reality alone are liable to be negative, a response to a problem, limited by past performance, lacking in creativity due to simple extrapolation, and smaller increments, or even counterproductive. So you place yourself in the space of possibility, imagining your dream life and making that really come alive for you in your emotions, in your thoughts, and even in your body. really place yourself there. What does that smell like? What does that taste like? What does it feel like to live your dreams? What is it like to live a life of meaning? What does that mean for you specifically? This space and this feeling you can consider as your dream goals. This is your why, your ultimate reason for existence. And once you've made your dream goals really come alive for you, then you can work your way backwards to really understand what are your performance goals and process goals. Performance goals are the tangible and measurable milestones that you need to achieve in order to make this dream a reality. Performance goals can be accomplishments that you want to achieve, awards that you want to gain, residencies or degrees. Performance goals are the physical manifestations that you want to accomplish so that you can achieve this feeling of your dream goals being lived. Process goals are going to be the step-by-step actions that you need to take in order to attain those performance goals. This is where the bulk of the work is going to happen. This is where you're going to need to check in with yourself regularly to make sure that you're taking the steps that are necessary to make those performance goals a reality. So now we understand your process goals, which are essentially your short-term goals, which then accumulate to achieve your performance goals, which we can consider the longer term goals, which then build your dream goals or your lifetime goals. And now that you've accomplished this first phase of goal setting by placing yourself in where you want to be, now we can face reality. The second phase of the GROW model is reality, which consists of clarifying the present situation without falling into the old patterns of self-limiting beliefs and your judgments, your feelings of lack. Really do away with that for now, because those are really not going to help you. To face reality constructively rather than hypercritically, you need to remove these distortions and turn them into descriptions. Bring out the details of your current situation. Think of this as gathering clues rather than forming theories or coming up with conclusions about where you are in the process. Instead of asking how or why you are where you are, which tends to invite analysis and opinion and kind of keeps you stuck in a loop, what you want to do is be an investigator. What's going on in terms of you and your goals? Where are you? How far along are you? What's in the way? What actions have you taken so far? What were the results of those actions? If you haven't taken any actions, what's stopping you? Be as honest with yourself as possible. Your dreams are going to require you to do this hard work. If you're having some trouble with this part of the process, I want you to return to your body and really sense where you may be holding the tension. And what you want to do is breathe into those areas and allow the body to release. And when you do that, then you can open up the mind for new ideas to flow through. Understand that thoughts carry emotions, and emotions are reflected in the body. And so when you shift the body, you make room for those emotions to move and for new thoughts to come through. If you're still with me and you haven't clicked out of this video yet, I'd really like to invite you to continue to stay with me till the end, because I'm going to reveal to you the one subconscious habit that you may be doing that's killing your progress. And now we're ready to explore your options. During this phase of the GROW model, we're going to expand the possibilities of creative actions that you can take. And here is another place where people tend to get stuck, because we like to think that there's only one possible way to the finish line. So instead, you're going to maximize your choices by creating a list of all the creative possible actions that you can take that would reach your goals. During this part of the process, your ego may come back with a lot of resistance, telling you, oh no, you can't take that action because this and this and this. So if this happens, what I want you to do is to remember that the ego is acting as a safety mechanism. And it does that by keeping you in a state of comfort. And what that means is not taking the steps that you need to take to move forward. The ego is a defense mechanism that tends to prioritize the needs of the tribe and the collective group over our own desires, because in the past, in our archaic past, this is what has kept us alive. The ego minimizes risks by allowing you to only take small actions that are going to be in alignment with the group. And this is why it's so hard sometimes to follow your dreams, because it necessitates stepping out of the group and following your own unique path. While the world around us may have changed and shifted significantly, our bodies are still running on an archaic operating system. We need to override the ego's programs to really take the steps that are necessary to make our dreams a reality. So we can do this by asking ourselves some powerful questions such as, what if? What if you could have the life that you desired? And what else? What else can you do? What other actions can you take? If this comes up against a roadblock, what other ways can you get around that? And this is the time to really think creatively. And remember that these are your dreams, this is your purpose, so it's going to be worth it to do this work, to continue to push through, and not to fight the ego necessarily, but to calm it down and know that it has a place, but now is not the time. And once you've made this list of all the different options and actions that you can take, then you can decide which of these options are the best for you, which are the ones that you're willing to take action on. So now this brings us to the final phase of the GROW model, which is will. Will refers to your inner drive, your free will, as well as the question, what will you do? You've visualized your goals, you've made peace with reality, you've explored all the different options available to you, and now it's time to turn all of that discussion into decisions. So during this phase, you want to be as clear and specific as possible. You're not asking yourself what you're thinking of doing or what you could do. You're asking yourself, what will you do? When will you do it? Who needs to know to hold you accountable? How will this action serve your goal? What obstacles might you meet along the way? What type of support will you need? How committed are you to taking action? And answer this on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being ready to take action right here, right now. And if your answer was anything lower than an 8, ask yourself what prevents it from being a 10. And when thinking about that, it may reveal that there's a few extra steps that you need to take. Maybe there's someone else that you need to reach out to. So it'll fill in the gaps. As you're ready, you'll take the next step. And then the next step will appear. And then the next, and the next, and the next. And before you know it, you're on your path. You're walking, you're running towards your goal. And then sooner or later, you'll be there, right where you want it to be. And so that brings us to the end of the GROW model. And now we can transition into the smarter section of this. And this is a checklist that you can use to make sure that the goals that you write down and that you're ready to take action on are going to be ones that are really aligned with your progress. Goals should be specific rather than general. They should be measurable so that you have some type of metric that you're tracking along the way so that you know how far along you are on your journey. Attainable as in realistic, relevant to your dream goals, timely in that you're setting yourself due dates. Evaluation refers to looking back and assessing how your progress is going. Don't be afraid to look back and see what are the actions that you've taken, what are the results of those actions, how happy are you with those results, and what adjustments might you need to make as you continue on your path. And while attaining your goals may be its own reward, it's also really important to give yourself gifts along the way. It's like the carrot on the stick, or in my case, a carrot cake. And it's so important to give yourself these rewards and gifts along the way because that's going to keep you motivated and engaged in the process longer. It'll break down a whole lifetime of dreams and visions into manageable chunks because you'll see the reward right in front of you. And you're more willing to take that step, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. As I promised earlier, I will now share with you the one subconscious habit that you may be doing that's killing your progress. Notice I said killing your progress and not necessarily your dreams. And what you're doing when you're engaging in this subconscious habit is you're short-circuiting your pleasure response system, which makes it more difficult to stay motivated. This is something that I've learned from experience from having done this subconscious habit all the time, even up till now. And let me just share it. It's telling people too soon. What I mean by this is having a goal that you're so excited by, and then the first thing that you do is tell somebody about it. Before you've even taken actions, before you've laid out the steps, you've gone ahead and already told your girls. And I know that might be a little bit of a shock because don't we want that validation and that support from people? Yes, this is true. It's important to have people on your side to cheer you on. But what's actually happening when you tell people too soon is you're getting that reward without doing any of the work. To be completely honest, this YouTube channel is a huge example of this. I came up with this idea to do a YouTube channel maybe 4 years ago, and I told everybody about it. I asked for suggestions on what videos I can make, and people sent in their ideas, and I was so excited about it. And then life happened, other projects happened, and I kind of just forgot about it because I had already in that moment gotten the reward. I had gotten the validation from people, the support and the love that I was seeking, that it was hard for my subconscious to take the next steps to really make that a reality. You have to understand that this is really how the brain works. It doesn't really distinguish between reality and imagination. And this is why when you're watching a scary movie, you feel like you're that person and that you're being chased down by a murderer. So when you tell people about your goals too soon, you're not only putting the cart before the horse, you're painting the cart, you're decorating the cart, and then you're inviting people to sit in the cart before you even have the horse. For me personally, the new rule that I've come up with is I need to take a few physical actions that get the ball moving by myself first before I tell anybody, before I ask for someone's opinion. I make sure that my goals are tangible and realistic and that I'm actually willing to take action by taking action. And once I've already taken a few steps and gotten some results that I'm happy with, then I can share with people. Then I actually have something to show. Then I can really get some honest feedback that'll take me to the next step, rather than short-circuiting my pleasure response system. So is this making sense? I hope so, because I'd really like to inspire you to do the work first for yourself and with yourself, really digging down to understand your goals, your dreams, your motivations, and the process that you need to take to make those dreams a reality. Because honestly, the world is transforming right in front of us as we speak. And this new earth that we're birthing together requires that you be here, that you be present, that you contribute with the truth of who you are. You matter. Your visions matter. Your dreams are the solutions that we need to transform this world. Every single one of us has a piece of the puzzle, and it's up to us to dig in, dig deep, and bring that out. I hope that this video has been helpful in making your dreams and your goals manageable and tangible. And if so, I would really love to hear from you. Please comment down below what parts of this resonated with you, what key lessons you're willing to take away. Thank you once again. I'll see you next time. Mabuhay.